You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and most importantly, video games, guess what? You come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 414. A lot of shit on the table, guys. A lot of butter on the counter. And I'm going to get into all of it in this episode. If you've been hiding under a rock, there's been a lot of unsavory things going down in the Xbox universe, and I'm going to get to it. But before I do, I want to say my anime watch list has been bare bones. I have not had a lot of time. It has been a crazy week, and I do mean crazy, guys, for your boy, okay? Just a lot of stuff going on. But only anime I've been watching right now, Tenjo Tenge, and that is all. Okay. Other than that, guys, yeah, that's my anime watch list. It's been kind of short, sweet, nothing else to it. Lots of stuff coming out, guys. Ghost of Yote is out. I've been playing that. Matter of fact, as I'm talking to you guys right now on this microphone, my TV is sitting there on, and it is Ghost of Yote on the screen. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Having a blast right now, running around, just trying to get some stuff, trying to set up a couple of builds, for the run and the story, pretty much. I'm not even going to say that because I don't want to give anything away, but definitely worth the purchase so far. If you are into Ghost of Tsushima and you love that game like I did, then you're probably going to love this one too. Totally different characters, different motivations, different play styles. And of course, like always, Sucker Punch makes beautiful worlds. They create beautiful backdrops, and this is nothing short of that. So having a blast right now, collecting stuff. I'll definitely dive in more as maybe the week or two from now and talk more about it. But yeah, definitely having a blast. Got a armor set now that is kind of, they call it the perfect parry or God parry build or whatever. So basically you parry, and you can only perfect parry though. That's the downside to it. But if you do parry, you get if you max it out correctly, you can get a lot of health back for your parry. So basically it's really hard to kill you. It's really hard to die. Right now, I'm also currently, the last thing I did before I stepped away was get some kunai. Okay. I keep seeing all these kunai builds on here, these crazy kunai builds. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and get these kunai. So I did the first mission for that. And now I'm going to do a number of different missions after that. So yeah, just a lot going on. Also been watching Task. I know I'm cutting around a lot, but I think this HBO Max, the show is called Task, Task. Awesome show. New episode just came out. They come out every Sunday. I haven't had a chance to watch the newest one, episode 5, I think, right now. So looking forward to that either after this podcast or when I lay down and go to bed. Sometime between now and Monday, I will watch it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I've been watching, what I've been playing up to this point. A few weeks from now, really about 2 weeks, we're going to have Ninja Gaiden, which I am so hyped for as well. We got Platinum Games, one of my favorite dev teams out here. So it's going to be a crazy month, guys. Just finished Borderlands not too long ago and doing stuff over there. So I've been playing a lot of games lately and probably not going to stop, guys, because after Ninja Gaiden 4, there's in November, or really the last day, no, October 30th, I think it is. Yeah, right before Halloween, you have Arc Raiders coming out. So that's a thing. And then in November, you have Where Winds Meet, which I'm really, really excited for. First MMO I've really ever been excited for. And this is that game. So this is a lot going on in the gaming spectrum, guys. But not everything is all good. and we have some things I want to talk about there too. So I'm going to talk about some Xbox news, guys. And I was only going to say one thing about Xbox. I had one topic to discuss, but other things came to the light. So I'm going to be talking about those as well. So yeah, it's going to get crazy. Also, I have some EA stuff. Yeah, EA has some news out here as well. So we're going to get into it, guys. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start with EA. Yeah, let's start with EA, Electronic Arts. If you guys aren't familiar with these guys, they have been synonymous, at least as of late, for being just a super giant greed machine. And they didn't always used to be that way, guys. They used to have soul. They used to have a soul, in my humble opinion, but not anymore. And they recently sold the company for $55 billion. Yes, $55 billion. You heard that correctly. And that is crazy. Okay. So word around the campfire is, what are they going to do now that they've sold this company for this amount of money? Most people seem to think that they're going to pretty much buckle down and do the same thing they have been doing, which is just money gouging, saying monetization and live service games. And they could do that, but it's kind of a slippery slope, because whenever you sell a company like this and you're not a publicly traded company anymore, things change a lot. And for people who aren't familiar with how that works, if you have a company that is publicly traded, then they have to answer to people. Most importantly, the shareholders, the people who are actually invested in these companies, guys. So there's a lot of pressure that goes to these companies that is put on a lot of these companies, guys. That's why in the gaming space, and not just gaming, but I'm just going to use gaming as an example. That's why there's a lot of games that don't get released, guys, when they should not be released. Okay. Technically, the devs are telling their bosses, hey, this game needs another 6 months to cook in the oven. And the devs are working themselves to the bone to get the game to play the best that it can, but they just need more time. And their bosses, which are the suit and ties, in the office, are telling them, no, we can't do that. We told everybody it's supposed to be October 10th, and that's when we want it out. And we need this game to put out. And if it's not ready, guess what? The day that it does release, you guys start working avidly on a fix, on a patch. Okay. And that's just how it is now, guys. There's pressure put on these companies, and they want to make profit. I mean, that's what it is. When you are publicly traded, the ultimate goal is to return some sort of return you want to give to your investors. That's the ultimate goal. And that's what most companies try to do. So the bad thing about that is you get unfinished games, and some games become straight dumpster fires. Okay. Now, that is where I tend to think that this could go another way. If you're not a publicly traded company, guys, you don't have that pressure anymore. So you don't have to worry about the shareholders. You don't have to worry about anybody wondering, hey, what's going on with this game? You can actually take your time. And if it takes 10 years, you can take that 10 years and get the game perfect. So when the game comes out, it's completely the best you ever wanted it to be. That's the freedom you get if you are private, right? But most people seem to think that when you have a company who's been bought like this, only bad things are going to happen, guys. Okay. And a lot of people say that heads are going to roll. All right. First thing they're going to do is they're going to start cutting corners. They're going to start downsizing. They're going to go over all the employees, and they're going to start cutting throats. And that's just how it works. That's usually how it works. If it's a business, their number one goal is to make money, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to make that happen. Okay. So there's a number of different directions this could go. And I tend to think that I'm kind of torn, because if you guys aren't familiar with some of the people who bought this company, Saudi Arabia has a big stake in this. All right. The reason why I'm bringing them up is because Saudi Arabia they're huge boxing fans, right? Love boxing. Boxing is like one of the biggest sports out there. Some of you guys may have heard of a guy by the name of Turki Al-Sheikh. He's this really, really rich guy who is a super boxing fanatic, and he's responsible for a lot of big fights that's happened in the past 5 to 7 years or so, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, anyway, The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I used to be a huge EA fan back in the heyday when EA used to be EA Big, like SS Tricky. Those games like SS Tricky is still one of my all-time favorite games of all time. They had one of the best soundtracks ever made, in my humble opinion. I just love that game. I have it on Xbox. I have it on I think I have it on my Steam Deck. I have multiple copies of that game. I love that fucking game. But anyway, that's when EA used to be about their business, right? That's when EA cared about the players, right? Back then. Okay. Early game Maddens and stuff like that. When they used to make Fight Nights and Knockout Kings back on PlayStation 1. Like, I'm going way back, but that's what these guys used to be about. They're not about that anymore, guys. Now they're just a corporate company who's just super greedy, and that's all they care about. But anyway, I say all this to say that I've been waiting for a Fight Night game for years, guys, since Fight Night Champions, and I still play that, still own that game. But I want a new Fight Night game. All of these other games, all of these fucking UFC games, guys, year after year, and we got no fucking boxing game. Apparently, this is going to change, and apparently it's going to change because of who's invested into EA. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that comes to fruition, guys. If it does, I'm going to be happy, so elated. But anyway, there's just a lot of stuff going on with this buyout, and there's a lot of ways that this could turn. Now, if you put a gun in my head and asked me, what do you think is going to happen right now? I would tell you that most likely, guys, EA, once they go private, they're going to just get greedier. Okay. They're going to fire people. They're going to cut corners. They're going to dive into AI, and they're just going to go crazy. Okay. Could I be surprised? Could I be wrong? Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. And that's kind of where I stand right now on EA right now, guys. I mean, that's about where I stand. I don't know. Only time will tell when this is completely finished. I think we still have over a year before all the stuff is done. Whenever you hear this in the news, there's a process that goes behind this. So you're looking at a substantial amount of time before everything gets signed. All the ink is dry, but get your minds ready for that. And I don't know what we're going to expect from EA moving forward now. Who knows, guys? But anyway, that's that. And that's them out of the way. Now, let's go ahead and get to the lecture at hand. And I'm going to talk about Xbox because, man, they have been everywhere this past week and then some. There's a lot of shit going on with Xbox, guys. And let's just go ahead and start and about their price raise. Okay. Everybody's talking about it. It was trending. Xbox Game Pass now. If you want the ultimate edition, all right, the top tier, I guess, edition, you're going to pay $29.99, $30. That's what you're going to pay now. So everybody is up in arms about it. All the gaming YouTubers, guys, have made videos on it. I made a video on it, which should probably be going up tomorrow night sometime, most likely. But everybody's doing shit on this. Okay. And rightfully so. It's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people are just, doing it for content or whatnot. But yeah, man, I mean, I understand why the frustration is there. Personally, me, I have Xbox Game Pass. I've been rocking with them for at least about 4 years now, since my son was 8 years old, and I got his first gaming console, which was an Xbox One. And we've been rocking ever since, but it's been going up and up. And what I think has people so upset is not that it's actually $30, because a lot of people could argue that $30 for what you're getting with Xbox Game Pass, especially as of late, is not a bad deal. Okay. If you look at it like this, $1 a day, $1 a day. If you told me, for $1 a day, hey, you could have access to, 400 games, at any given time, and that you can play whenever you want. You know what I mean? That's a pretty good deal for a gamer when games are, going for anywhere from $60 all the way up to $75 after taxes. That's a pretty solid deal still, even though I thought 20 was the sweet spot, guys. I think the problem with this price right now is the fact that it happened too soon. Okay. Too much too soon. All right. Because in the last 14 months ago, guys, it was $17.99. So just over a year ago, it was literally $17.99. I think it might have been even $16.99, one of those two, but it was that cheap not that long ago. And the fact that they've, raised it to 20 and then from 20 to 30, that's got a lot of people scared, because I think this is going to happen. I think it's inevitable that they're going to eventually raise it again and again and again. As we keep moving on and time keeps going by, eventually this is going to be a $50 to $60 a month type of service. I think they're pushing for that. I think they're trying to get people used to what this is. That's just my humble opinion. I could be wrong, but guys, if you look at the numbers, I mean, they're moving pretty fucking fast right now. The butter is definitely on the counter, okay? They've got tubs of butter on the counter. They've got bodies all over the floor, incapacitated. All right, their garments are removed all the way down to their ankles. They're disoriented. They don't know where they're at, okay? And then there's some goon, okay, with an Xbox t-shirt on, with no pants and no drawers on, all right, with his stick lubed up in that warm butter. And he's ready to do strange things to all these people that are passed out. And those people are consumers. Okay. That's how people feel. They feel violated. A lot of people feel, taken aback. And like I said, I'll go back to the original thing I said before. It's not necessarily, I don't think it's the price necessarily. I think it's the suddenness of the raising of the price, guys. Okay. Too fucking soon. Like thinking about it now is even giving me a headache. I'm running on fumes. I haven't had a lot of sleep. You know what I mean? Thanks to Ghost of Yote on a side tangent. I didn't go to bed till like 10 in the morning. Then I went to work on Sunday at 2:00. So yeah, there's that, and haven't been asleep since. So yeah, I got about 3 hours of sleep right now. I'm rocking. And when I'm very, very tired, I'm sure some of you guys can relate. If you don't get enough sleep, you start getting a headache and your body's telling you, you need to lay down and close your eyes. You know what I'm saying? So eventually I'm going to make myself do that, but that's a side tangent. Anyway, but this Xbox shit is crazy. It's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. Something needs to be done about it. Okay. The butter needs to be taken off of the counters, and these endo sticks need to be, put out. These sake glasses need to be poured into the sink. All right. Because they're definitely filled to the brim. It's just too much too soon. And I think that's the shock that is upsetting a lot of people right now. Now, me personally, if you ask me what I'm going to do, because we have 2 Xboxes in this house. All right. Now, for newcomers, people who don't know who I am, you're listening to this podcast for the first time and you don't know my backstory. I mean, I'm a diehard gamer. I play everything. I'm mainly a PlayStation person. That's what I've been playing for the last 10 years the most. So the PS5 gets the majority of the playtime. I do have a Nintendo Switch, not the 2, the first one. And I also have a Steam Deck, and I also have retro game consoles. So I play a lot of stuff. I have handhelds. I have Retroid Pockets. I have, PSPs. I have, I have Nintendo DS's, 3DS's. Like, guys, I am a avid gamer. I'm talking about Sega Saturns, Dreamcast, like all these systems I own, right? Nintendo 64. All of this stuff, right? Still have a lot of this stuff and play a lot of this stuff sometimes. So my son, and I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox Series S. My son has an Xbox Series X, and that's his only console, right? His ecosystem is there. That's where he lives. That's where he's made his first online friends. I still remember it like yesterday. That's him. He plays PlayStation sometimes. He has his own, profile on the PS5 and all that, but his main system is the Xbox. So I almost feel obligated to keep paying this right now at this price, because I have to look at the value in hindsight, not just for me, because if it was just me by myself, I wouldn't have it. If it was just me by myself when it comes to Game Pass right now, I wouldn't have it unless there was something I had to play right then and there. And then I would play as much as I could within that month and then cancel it after that. That's how I would play it, right? Like right now, Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out day 1. Silk Song is out right now. I'm still playing Expedition 33, finishing up that. So right now, it's still viable. It's definitely viable for me. Even though I haven't played a lot of Xbox, I probably play Xbox, honestly, maybe a couple of months, maybe 3 months tops out of the whole calendar year. Now, to me, that's not worth it, personally. But to me, it also is worth it because my son plays every day for the most part. Okay. Whether he's online just talking to friends or whether he's playing something else currently that's out there on Game Pass, whatever it is that he and his friends do, that is a value for him. So because we have 2 Xboxes in this house, because he plays and he's an Xbox kid, right? I'm keeping Xbox Game Pass at $30 right now. Now, if they decide to go up to 35, 40, whenever, that may be a different conversation I need to have with him, and we might need to figure something out. You know what I mean? Like a couple weeks ago, I bought him, because it's not on Game Pass, I bought him Cyberpunk 2077 because he kept asking to play Cyberpunk on PlayStation. But I was trying to explain to him, I've been playing so many games, my memory, I don't have any room to download it. Like, I was like, yo, man, you could, but I don't have room for Cyberpunk right now. All the games that are on here I'm playing now, I can't take any of them off. So he was getting frustrated. So I said, you know what? How much is Cyberpunk on Xbox? And he went and checked, and it was on sale. It was $20. So I bought that for him, $20. So he owns that game, right? Then a couple days later, he comes to me on the weekend and is like, yo, can I get the DLC? I was like, wait a minute, what? How much is DLC? He said the DLC is on sale right now too. It's on sale for like $20. So I got him the DLC. This is the first game he's been super infatuated with, that he's played multiple times, beat the game, beat the DLC, loves this game. So I was happy to do that for him, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is $30 for two people in one household, I think is worth paying that right now. Still has value in that right now. And he's also a Fortnite guy and everything. Cause I'm like, yo, what comes with this shit? Like, what are they really adding? Because they tried to spruce it up and say, hey, well, you get this, you get that. You get, more day one releases, I think 75 plus games. You get Ubisoft plus classics. And the thing he kind of liked is the Fortnite crew. I guess you get so many of the V-Bucks or whatever. And he's always, down for some free V-Bucks. Okay. I've bought him V-Bucks plenty of times out the random. Hey, can I get this? Can I get this? A new skin came out, whatever. So he plays that periodically with his friends and all that too. So I like I said, that is value for him, right? And whenever you have kids or whatever, you got to think about them too, because it kind of comes to them first. And so that's really the main reason why I'm still, rocking with Xbox right now. That's really it. If it wasn't for my son, trust me, I wouldn't have it right now. And when Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out, I would just get it right then, have it for that month, play that, maybe play some Silk Song or whatever, and finish up this Expedition in-game stuff, and then I'm done, right? Until whenever else comes out. And so that's how I would play it. But, it is what it is. I think it starts November 4th officially. So right now, everybody's still at 20 until then. The crazy thing, though, is GameStop came out and said some crazy shit. GameStop came out and said, yo, look, we're going to continue to sell Game Pass for $20 until the foreseeable future. So apparently they have backstock of these memberships in their stores, and they're going to continue to sell them for $20. That is crazy. I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently you can, and they are. And it makes sense to do that. You know what I mean? But I'm quite positively sure that once they run out of stock, and they get the new stock, which is going to be $30, they'll be selling it then. But, it is what it is. I guess they're trying to make themselves seem like something they're really not, because they're not really. GameStop doesn't give a damn about the players. Okay. They're just doing something, and they're seeing somebody that they can't beat bleeding out right now. And so they're going to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and choke him out because he's defenseless. That's pretty much what this is. GameStop does not give a damn about the player, guys. They stopped doing that a long time ago. Their memberships are down. Everything about GameStop now is pretty much garbage. I mean, I'm done pretty much with GameStop, guys. I mean, every now and then I will pre-order a game if I can get to a GameStop, but the GameStop that I even used to go to, they're closed down. So for me, having to go to GameStop, I have to kind of go out of my way now to go hit up a GameStop store, the closest one. And it's beginning to be problematic. Let me say that. And I'd rather just go ahead and order it from Amazon, So that's probably going to be me in the future when it comes to getting physical games. Cause digital, it doesn't even matter. So yeah, that's about it. They fell from grace a long time ago, but it is what it is. But as far as this price and how people are feeling about it, man, it's kind of sad. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad. And in this economy, guys, everything is kind of just flipped upside down right now. Nothing is safe. You know what I mean? The gaming space was a place where I used to think that I could go and nobody could really, really touch me there. If I wanted to escape, I could just do that. And it's seeping into everything, gaming included now. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's why I hoard. That's why I have these huge backlogs in essence as well. It just makes me feel better knowing that I always have something to play. If they cut the internet off now, if they cut subscription services now, and we can never play any games digitally again, I would still probably be set for life by the amount of games, physical media that I have here. And it's just comforting. It may mean nothing to Johnny or Tony, but it's comforting to me. That's just how I roll. But anyway, yeah, that's the news on that. And I don't know. I wonder how you guys feel out there. Do you think that this is a good price? Do you think the stuff that they added brings value, at least enough value where they feel that they can charge this type of price moving forward? Right? Because there's two other tiers now. I think one is $14.99 and I think the other one is $9.99. And I don't even know what those really entail. It's probably just a dumbed down version. I know definitely they're not going to get the day ones immediately. So they're probably giving you some indie games, and some other titles. But as far as games like Ninja Gaiden 4, Silk Song, those games that are coming out day one, Expedition 33, you wouldn't get access to those unless you had the ultimate tier. And that's what most people want, and buy the ultimate tier for. In my opinion, you buy it for that, So I don't know. It is what it is. Right now, I'm going to continue to pay for it because of my son, and that's how I am. But I know plenty of people who did not and who have stopped. And so many people that I've heard went and said, you know what, I'm done with it. And they stopped their subscriptions, that they actually damn near crashed the website. Okay. That's how many people were going there and unsubscribing to this service, guys. So yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people are pissed. Will some of those people come back? Maybe. I don't know. I think right now it's just shock, and people just didn't see that coming. They just didn't think that Xbox had the balls to put that butter on the counter, and they did. Okay. They didn't give a damn. There's police inside of the house, literally sitting down, eating a sandwich, and they still put that butter on the counter. They warmed it up, and they still used it on innocent gamers right there in front of the police. They don't care anymore. That's how it feels. Okay. Yeah. And to add insult to injury, there's more news when it comes to Xbox, which is crazy. Yes, there's rumors now. The person who is putting this stuff out has put out things in the past and has been on point with his quote unquote rumors. They're not rumors anymore, where the old stuff actually came to fruition. All right. This stuff here is looking like Xbox is done as far as a hardware based company, guys. Okay. Because if you didn't know, they were supposed to be working on another system that was supposed to be coming out in 2026. All right. The next iteration, pretty much like the PlayStation 6, their version of that, whatever that is supposed to be, was coming out. But apparently, rumor has it, there's been some leaks. There's been some things that were coming out, and apparently that's not going to happen anymore. Apparently that is done. Apparently Xbox said, no, we're cutting that. We're done with that. And it brings me to a question. They're, as a company, number one goal is to make money. So they're technically not doing anything wrong, but in the process, though, they are doing something wrong because they're doing it in a shitty way. Put it like that. I don't mind if Xbox says, hey, we're done. We're hanging it up. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me about Xbox doing this is the fact that they've told other Xbox fans, people who have been supporting up to this point, that there's going to be more, that they're not going anywhere. That's the issue. If they just told the truth and said, hey, look, guys, we're done. We're not going to, you got to do what you got to do, but don't lie and say, or make people think that you're doing something you're not. You're basically saying everything is good until it's not, right up until the last second, even though you've probably known for months that you were going to raise the prices on Game Pass. And same thing you told these other devs and these other indie companies making games for you, that you told them, and you've told the consumers, hey, this game's awesome. Can't wait to play it. And then weeks later, you axed the whole project. You cut the whole team's head off, just like it's nothing, like it's like you're having a sip of tea. tea in your living room on a nice, hot, sunny day. That's how they've been doing. That's how they've been moving, guys. So you can't really trust Xbox. You can't really hang your faith on what they say, guys, because they completely turn around and do the opposite, and they do it fast. They really do. They do it fast. So excuse me or forgive me if I don't trust Microsoft and what they say, because they have not held up anything. Okay. Where are these games, guys? Where's all of these games from all of these companies that you spend billions of dollars on? They don't have anything to show for all that money, guys. They don't. It's like a kid who has too much money and they're just doing whatever the fuck. They don't care what happens to the people. They don't care where the chips fall. They don't care because they have so much money. People seem to forget that Xbox is a small, and I do mean a small division of Microsoft. Microsoft really doesn't give a damn about Xbox. Okay. To Microsoft, Xbox is just some pet frog they found on the street one day. Yes, they found the frog. They picked the frog up. They got a shoebox and they put that frog in that shoebox, and they put that shoebox in the corner of their giant room, and then they threw clothes on top of it. Right now, that box doesn't have any holes in it. That frog can't breathe. Sooner or later, that frog is going to die of hunger and thirst. And that's pretty much what you have when you're talking about Xbox in relation to Microsoft right now. That's pretty much what it is. Microsoft makes billions of dollars. Okay. Billions of dollars. They're into AI. They're into all this other stuff, guys. That's their main focus. Their focus is not video games. Their focus is not people who play their games. It's evident. Isn't it evident? If somebody came into the CEOs of Xbox's home right now, at this point in time, put a gun to their head and said, you better start making first party games or else your family's dead. You better start doing what you used to do back before 2012 or else all your family's gone. You know what would happen? Exactly that. They would start making games. They would start focusing. They would start doing things that had to be done to compete and really try to compete like they used to back in the day. But like I said, guys, they don't care. They haven't cared for years, and it's just over. They have no interest in the console wars anymore. Why? Because they can't win anymore. They haven't won. It's been so long. It's ridiculous. Okay. It's a wrap. It is. And now they're looking at it like, well, we might as well just go ahead and get into that cloud space. Okay. Candy Crush it up, because that's what they're doing. Monetization, cloud streaming. That's what they're focused on now. And that's what they're going to be focused on moving forward, guys. Their main goal now is to put everything accessible. They want Xbox accessible on everything. They want it accessible on, a Roku TV. They want it accessible on your phone. All right. They want you to stream. That's what they want to do. They want you to stream games. That's what they're focused on now. They don't care about hardware because they've lost so much money trying to fight people like Nintendo or Sony. They were fighting a losing battle, and they just look at it now as just a blown mission. We wasted all this money on this hardware that's not really selling. So why continue to make this hardware? Let's just go ahead and start focusing on streaming, and let's string along the fans that are still there. Let's make them feel like they're still safe. Let's make them feel like they have something to look forward to. But in essence, there's nothing on the table but warm butter. And that's what you have right now with Xbox, guys. Of course, Phil Spencer, of course, all of these other execs, they're not going to tell you what they're truly going to do until it's too late. Okay? They're going to make you think that everything's good with Xbox. Nothing's happening. Nothing's changing until one day it just does. And then guess what? You can't find the social handles. They're absent. You're not going to do or find anything. And if you look at what they've done, somebody else pointed this out. I forgot what YouTuber. I want to say Maddie Plays, who is a huge Xbox fan, who has unsubscribed to them, and I think has been unsubscribed to them for the last couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. All right. When you have people like that just stopping, you know it's a wrap. But anyway, they're saying things like, yeah, Xbox is done. They don't care. They hired some poor girl to do a trailer about what they were bringing to the table. And that girl has probably been getting death threats. That girl has been being swarmed on the internet, guys, from a lot of disgruntled fans. Of course, Phil Spencer wasn't going to get on there. He wasn't going to. These guys aren't doing that. OK, Sarah Bond, she's not doing it. OK, the current president right now, these guys don't care. And if you don't know that now, if you can't see that now, I don't know what to tell you. OK, as soon as they have no value, I mean, it's done. Right now, they still have value right now at this point in time. They still do because, like I said, Game Pass, my son plays it. I play it periodically. There's still people who still think that $30 is a decent deal for what's going on right now. And, you know, they're riding on that. But they're a sinking ship. They know they're going down. That's why they're raising all these prices for these consoles and doing all this stuff, guys, because they know most people aren't going to buy them. All right. They know most people aren't paying that. But they figure, well, if they do pay for it, it's going to be high as draft pussy. And so let's just go ahead and then make it sweet on the way down. Because I think this is the last console that Xbox is going to make. I truly believe so. I do. And I heard my son talking to one of his friends the other day, and I heard him say something like, yeah, I can't wait to get the new Xbox. When the new Xbox comes out, I'm going to get that. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, son, the butter's on the counter. Oh, God. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't got anything else to say. There's a guy that goes by the name of Sneaking SO. He's this Xbox insider, guys, and he's the one that everybody's talking about, apparently, because his track record is pretty solid as far as what's been happening in the past and what he's saying now is going to happen. All right. He's calling all these things. He's saying that this is happening. And if you follow the breadcrumbs, you can see it. Anybody can see it. All the things that Xbox has promised thus far and has not capitalized on, has not delivered, is there. All these games that were supposed to come out that still haven't come out, guys. I'm still waiting on Fable. Who knows if Fable is even going to come out? That's the one game. If you ask me, what game are you waiting for Xbox right now? Like, if there's any game that you're waiting for right now, me personally, from the heyday, from the back in the day when I played the Fables and shit, back when Xbox meant something to a lot of people, really meant something, that was the game I tell you that I'm excited about. Still am, if it ever comes out. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to come out, man. Could I be wrong? Sure. But I'm not betting my money right now. I'm not putting my life on the line on Fable being released. And if it never comes out, guess what? I won't be surprised. Anyway, the last thing I'll say before I get up out of here, I guess, is that a lot of Sony fans need to slow their roll because a lot of these guys are celebrating a little too early. And I say that because this could be very bad for Sony players. And I say that because, guys, what happens when there's no competition anymore? When there's nobody to challenge Sony, and let's keep it real, Nintendo and Sony are in different ballparks. Okay. Those, when it comes to console wars, there's not really, you can't really put those two in the same category. They're almost different things, apples and oranges almost. Nintendo's fan base is completely different from Sony's fan base. There are some similarities. You have some crossing over. There's some people like me who do play Nintendo stuff and also Sony, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there as well who do that. But if you're talking about casual gamers, you usually got the Nintendo people and you got the Sony people, right? So they're not really in competition with each other. Both of those companies on their own are going to do well. They're going to sell consoles. They're going to do all that. Even though Sony has been really, really slow as of late, guys, at this new generation, because in part, in my opinion, they didn't have to really fight for it. They were just coasting off of their past achievements. And so they didn't feel the need to have to rush games or make more first party games and all that. Why? Because nobody was buying Xbox. So they weren't going to lose the race no matter fucking what, right? They had a sprained ankle, but they were fucking 5 miles ahead anyway. So even if Xbox ran as fast as they could for the remainder of the race, they were never going to win the race. And Sony players need to be careful, because if they're the only ones left per se in that kind of field right there by themselves, then they could get very, very, very stuck up. They could get very, very complacent, and we might be looking at one first party game a year, something crazy like that. So, just not get too comfortable or too excited for Sony if this actually happens, because you got to worry. You got to be on the lookout. Because with no competition, you just running the whole show. That's kind of what EA did for a while with Madden football, guys. They bought out everybody else so nobody else could compete with them, and they could just make the same fucking slop year after year. And there was no other competition. So competition is good. We need competition. I like competition. I want competition because it makes everybody better. It makes people aware. It makes them stay on their toes. Just saying. Could I be wrong? Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. But still, this is where we're headed. Everybody has their own butter on the counter to some degree. Nintendo definitely has their own butter on the counter. They've pulled their butter out countless occasions on lots and lots of people, guys. All right. We definitely know Microsoft has done it, and Sony has done their share as well. Not as bad, but they still have their own butter. They have like small tubs of butter on the counter. Xbox, huge tubs. Okay. Nintendo, pretty big tubs as well. Okay. It's still all warm butter. That's my point. My point is everybody can still use that warm butter to do strange things to you in the dark. It doesn't matter how big or small the tub is. As long as there's warm butter inside of that tub on that counter, things can be done. I'm sorry. I'm bugging, but I'm being honest, and I'm telling the truth, guys. This is from the heart. Okay. So take it how you will, do with it what you will. It's just very, very, it's frustrating to be a gamer right now. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's expensive. It's getting very expensive as well. So those sales are looking pretty sweet right now. You know what I mean? So I guess that's all I have to say about it, but only time will tell. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. You can definitely rest assured on that. On a side note, if you are new, or even if you aren't new and you haven't subscribed to your boy's YouTube channel, Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube, please do that. Okay. Help your boy out. Subscribe. I have more content on the way. I have Ghost of Yote gameplay. I have lots of things coming. Okay. Borderlands 4 stuff down the pipeline. I have more WWE 2K stuff coming down the pipeline. We're going to have some Arc Raiders. It's going to get nice, man. Where winds meet. We're going to have a lot of dope content. Also just, discussion videos and things of that nature about these type of subjects. Okay. Lots of them. So if you're into that and you love video games and you are a fan of your boy here, go ahead and subscribe, man. And for everybody who is subscribed to the podcast and who listens every week, I love you guys so much. You guys just don't realize. I don't think you guys know how grateful that I am to have listeners like you, to listen to just a guy talking shit in his man cave at 2:00 in the morning, about his passion for video games, right? It's a beautiful thing. And I want to let everybody know that I am appreciative. I am grateful, and I love you guys. And with that being said, I'm going to bow gracefully. I'm going to take all the butter off of the counter, put it back in the fridge, hopefully stop it from liquefying and being used on another poor soul out here in these video game streets. So with that being said, guys, I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week, man. We do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. I'm going to go edit this. I'm going to go try to play some more Ghost of Yote. And then I'm going to watch Task and then go to sleep. And I will see you guys after that. So this is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.